Greetings, Mr. Colazar's class. Today in Forensic Science, we're going to be looking into virtually blood typing. And the idea for today with blood typing is going to look at the idea that when you have your anti-A serum clots with anti-A blood, so you'd have type A blood. If it's mixed with anti-B serum and it clots, you have B type blood. If it clots with both, we have AB blood, or if it clots with neither, we have type O blood. The other factor we're going to be looking into is the RH factor. If the blood clots with the RH factor, then we have RH positive or just positive. If it does not clot with the RH factor, we have negative. Now, the nice part about blood typing is that it's a simple, quick, cheap way to test the blood right away. It gives us class evidence. It can help us narrow down or eliminate suspects or include suspects as we're going. So what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to start out with looking at different suspects, suspect 1, 2, 3, 4, and crime scene and victim blood types to see if we can match them up. Now, one of the keys is to avoid contamination. So as we're starting out, we only want to use our stir sticks once before we get rid of them. So we'll just be putting them into the trash can afterwards so we don't avoid contamination, and making sure that we just keep each suspect separate. So our first step with our suspect 1's blood, we're going to take a few drops, 2 to 3 drops, in the 3 different slots. And then we are going to take our serum. The anti-A serum is going to be put into the first slot. The anti-B serum will be placed in the lower slot. And the RH serum will be placed into that third slot. Our stirring then is going to take place, and our goal is going to be to see clotting. Now, it tells us that we want to stir for about 30 seconds, and as we're stirring, what we're going to look into, put that on the waist, is to take and stir. And after we've stirred, we're going to wait about a minute or two before we check our results. We'll be right back. We're going to go through and fill the other trays and then look at our results. All right. So now we've mixed all of the suspect, crime scene, and victim blood samples together and waited a couple minutes to see if we saw any clotting or any changes take place inside each of the solutions. So to begin with, we're just going to do a little note. If there's clotting or clumping, any kind of chunks forming, we're going to shade in the circle. If there's no clotting or clumping, we're going to leave it blank so we can kind of use those observations as we're going. So suspect 1, going to be a little bit difficult to see these, but in suspect 1, there's clotting, floaties, chunks in all 3 of the samples. So for suspect 1, we're going to just shade in, saying that we've got clotting occurring in all 3. Suspect 2, we can see that the A is clear, the RH is clear, but down in the B, we've got our clotting occurring, so the only one we will put observations in is in the B spot. From there, suspect 3, A has some clotting, the RH has some clotting, but but the B slot is empty. So we're going to continue on, but leave that B spot empty. And then in our last suspect, suspect 4, all 3 slots are all clear, no clotting or clumping occurring there, so we're going to leave all 3 blank. If we move down to the crime scene, our crime scene one, we can see that A has some chunking, B nothing, and the RH also has some chunking. So we're going to be able to observe there. And finally, our victim, nothing in the A chunking wise. B, there's some clotting, and the RH, no clotting. So for that one, we can go through. Now to compare blood types, suspect A has the A, the B, and the positive. So we are going to say that they are AB positive. Suspect 2 only has the B blood, so B, no RH, so B negative. Suspect 3 clotted with the A, clotted with the RH, so it's going to have A positive blood. Suspect 4 did not clot with either the A or the B or the RH, so it has O blood, and then not clotting with the RH, O negative. And then finally our crime scene blood, clotted with the A but not the B, so type A blood, and the RH factor, so A positive. And our victim blood did not clot with A, clotted with B, did not clot with the O or the RH, so it would have type B negative blood. When we look at this information, the direct information we can take from this is that our crime scene blood, type A positive, matched suspect 3's blood, type A positive. Now what this information gives us is that it doesn't say that suspect 3 is guilty. Blood typing, remember, is just class evidence. So with it being just class evidence, we can narrow the suspects down, but they're still just suspects because this is just a class evidence or percentage evidence. So in the end, that can just help us move on to the next step of using DNA profiling to see if that blood actually matches the crime scene and the suspect's blood. Besides that, we'll continue moving on. Safe travels to everyone.